You're listening to the Smoking JoeThunder podcast. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy JoeThunder back once again with another episode of the Smoking JoeThunder podcast. And it's a lovely day today. It's hot as fuck, and I'm already high as a motherfucker. And I woke up. I didn't get to bed till 4 in the morning, but it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, shout out to our official sponsor, Be Good Dispensaries over there on 11 West Hamden and across the street from Boondocks up there on 120th, somewhere up there. I don't know, but you can Google it. But where we're at right here, 11 West Hamden, we got another episode of the Smoking JoeThunder podcast, and we got a special episode for you today, man. We got a cat that was at the beginning of when hip-hop really started taking off and when shit was like going down. And what's really crazy is they didn't even know who they were. They thought they were from New York, and they're actually from New Jersey. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then when they found out, they didn't know what to think, right? Mm-hmm. We got the Sensei from the legendary hip-hop group, you know what I'm saying? The Artifacts.
Artifacts is here, y'all.
We got Rick 73. I'm sorry I'm a little high, you know, it's all good.
You good.
But man, but what's going on, y'all?
Man, yeah, everything is good. I'm here today.
You made it in, right?
Yes. I have a show tonight at the Bar Red.
Bar Red.
Whenever you hear this, it might have happened already. Or
right.
You might be seeing, might be at the show.
You never know.
Bar Red tonight. I'm doing a little performance. And today, me and my man Rick shot a video for a song that we just released called The Alley. Right. And we just shot some visuals for that today. So, just this is the beginning of stages of what we doing, but this is the start. So there's a lot more things to come.
A lot more coming. Hey, how'd you hook up with Rick's?
I mean, like a lot of things now online.
On the internet?
But through mutual music and what I heard, I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. Because like a lot of people bypass a lot of producers if they don't know who they are. And sometimes they might be bypassing something golden,
Exactly.
And I always feel like, my motto is, especially if it's hot enough and you feel a vibe from it, I call it everybody deserve a chance to drive the car. We all know somebody that got a dope-ass whip. You be in the car with them all the time, and they know that. And sometimes if they feel they could trust you, they let you drive that car.
Right. But when you crash, it is a wrap.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. When you get the opportunity to drive,
don't fuck up.
Many of them know how to drive. So that means you drive for a minute. You get to, be behind the wheel all the time. So that's how I look at a lot of things in music, where a lot of opportunities I didn't have, where now it's so easy now. You can work with somebody with a dope beat and don't even have to be there with them.
Isn't it crazy? Because you're literally like no internet, no cell phones. Right. We just on the block making music, like an actual studio with tracks, not a fucking computer, not even like none of that shit. So you've seen it.
That was impossible to do.
Yeah, you've seen it go from like, I don't want to say at the very beginning, but you know what I'm saying? Like really doing some shit to like now where like you said, I could go make a rap song right after this shit. Shit. When y'all leave, I can get a beat from Rick's. He can email it to me in a minute and I could have a verse.
That's the technology part of it that makes it easy.
Right.
Where it might have been having to mail a CD or play something over the phone.
Right, back in the day, they were even talking. That's why you didn't see many features, because they weren't sending out those reels and then overnight and then getting them back. They were doing all that shit.
Unless you was in the room with them,
yeah, exactly.
We weren't getting direct contact with artists back then either.
Right. None.
You were going through a label or going through a management company. Half the time they weren't.
Publicists.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I heard a story on a podcast the other day, and they were like they got the names off the Cold Chill album and looked it up in the New York phone book. And I don't remember who it was, but you know what I'm saying? They basically got the names off the album and they looked up in the phone book and they called them up like, you rap. Like,
no different than Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. That's how he found Sarah Connor. Went in the phone book, looked down, went through all the damn lists of Sarah Connors and killed everybody until he got there,
But you never
that was how you did it back
shit,
then.
Though. You never think of getting an album or a 12-inch and looking the name and looking in the phone.
But you had to. I mean, I think that's an old tactic when you talk about labels and artists, whether if it be musicians back in the day that would work with certain artists that they would be able to sit for and play and record in the studio, and more or less be a featured guest artist and knowing that this artist trusts their sound. So a lot of people, even for diggers, you know, and you know, where they look at the back of the records, they look at the artist names and things like that. But when you talk about going to labels to drop off demo tapes and things of this nature, yeah, that is mostly why they were looking on the back of the records, because you see who's in charge of everything.
Exactly.
When you look back there.
Makes
so,
like a lot of sense.
yeah, this was like every artist, you know, since for a while. So like it was no different with hip hop once you started having like an office for Def Jam or office for Profile Records, and you know, whether they were small or big, it was somewhere to go to drop off your music.
Exactly.
Other than the radio station.
Hey, for those people that don't know you, and give them a little history about you and about your group and how you guys kind of started.
All right. My name is Elvis Sensei. I'm from the group Artifacts, straight from New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey, as a matter of fact. Brick City.
Chocolate City, too?
Yeah,
Isn't that what Redman says?
Yeah. You can say that, too. But mostly the Brick City.
Brick City. Why do they call it the Brick City?
Many concrete buildings and around a lot of section of the city, but mostly just, it became like a mantra, like as far as like, at one point it was a lot of projects.
Right.
You know, now they're gone. You know, but we still use that as a moniker for our city. So, you know, I come from where Redman come from, Naughty by Nature, and Lords of the Underground.
Lords of the
Queen
Underground were
Latifah.
one of my favorite groups too.
Yep, still Do It All, Funky Man, and my boys, Lord Jazz. You know, Jersey is a thing of itself because it's unlike New York. We all don't sound the same, as far as like our slang and
Right.
accents. But when we came out, a lot of people thought we was from New York.
Yeah, everyone thought you were from New York, right?
And that was the funny thing, because we would never go to New York doing shows saying, you know, we going back to Jersey, or we come out on stage like, yo, we straight from New Jersey. We like, boom.
Right.
So that's New York to us. So that's what we got in the beginning. You know, fortunately for dudes like Kim Shabazz, Apache, you know, Lati, these dudes came out early in the industry with 45 King and was able to put Jersey on the map in a way where it was like a precedent we had to set. You know, Chill Rob G, you know, a lot of these dudes was early for us to learn from.
I need you to school me real quick. Is 45 King from New Jersey as well?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know
Martha
that.
45 King is straight from New Jersey, East Orange.
And if y'all know what that is, that's the Ed Lover dance.
Yep. 900 number you ever seen on MTV? Yeah, you Stan from Eminem. Yeah, 45 King did that. Hard Knock Life, Jay-Z, he did that. Yeah, that's 45 King, and he's a mentor to a lot of producers, Diamond D, to name a few. Yeah, Jersey is full of a lot of, you know, New Jersey stars, hip-hop wise, but, you know, we all are original in our own way, and we all don't sound the same, and I like that. You know, it separates all of us. You know, when you think of Redman, you might think of Artifacts, but you also think of Lords of the Underground because of their we all have a relationship with each other. And because our area is so like pocketed, you know, you could be in East Orange, New Jersey, where I'm from, and then you'd be right in Newark, and you won't even realize it.
It's like across the tracks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. And how did you guys kind of start your group?
Me and Tame had mutual friends. He knew people I knew. My man Jay Byrne, who's on the Attack of New Jerusalem song on the first album. I went to school with him, and he used to paint with Tame. So my man Polo Ice, he knew Tame from being in the same neighborhood, but we never crossed paths. So like maybe when I got down with a crew that he was with,
Like graffiti crew, right?
Nah, like
rap crew.
We was called the Boss Mob crew. Rhino CMZ was the producer. Me, Tame, Rasta Ra, my man Max 165. We all would go there and make demos. It was like a Juice Crew type thing. I used to go over there, and I knew Tame used to be with them, but I didn't know he rapped. So when I went in the room and I saw his name all on the walls, I said, so, you know, he rapped too? He's like, yeah. So he played me some shit. I was like, damn. I said, he rapped like how he do graffiti, do super nice. So one day we got there, and he was there, and I got there, and we met. And instantly that day we did a song, and then the rest was history. This was like 88. We didn't get into anything professionally until like 93. We did a song called Do You Want to Hear It with the Nubian Crackers, straight from Queens. They put us on like a breakbeat record, and yeah, that was dope, you know, to be our first record. It was like an introduction to the world of who we were, until we got the deal on Big Beat Atlantic. And that's when we put out Between the Rock and the Hard Place, which you all guys know, and wrong side of the tracks, and come over to get down. And
Right.
I'm still here.
So real quick, were you as into graffiti as your partner was?
I was into it, but not like physically out there on walls
Getting
as much because my father was not trying to hear it.
He's not trying to have it.
I remember we went to New York and we went to the Bronx Zoo. Now I'm being like 12. I hear about all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, what is? I'm going to New York. I'm gonna see everything. We get in there, and I see the train, and I didn't even want to get on the train. And my father like, get on the train, yo. So we got on, and we get inside the train. I think we was on the 2 train. I'm like, what? I was like, oh shit, everywhere.
It was just a whole new world.
Then
right?
we got outside the train, and the train is going. I'm just standing there on the platform watching the train go by, like, oh shit. So we get outside, but then I was like, damn, the Bronx looked like a war zone back then. Like, this was really like the 80s, man, when, early 81, 82, it was ridiculous. So I saw everything outside, all the trains going by with the pieces on them. I said, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. My father looking at me like
the boy.
Then we go home. We go home and see the same thing all over again, but get home. Mm-hmm. And Stylewars comes on TV. So I'm like, oh shit, what's this? And I see B-boys and I see graffiti. I see K Slay on there. I see like a lot of people. And I was really into it then. And I just and because I couldn't go on walls, I did paper and shirts and kept myself busy in that way. And didn't on walls sometimes, but Tame,
he was really getting it.
Is the activist, rap dude I know as far as like, getting up. And he uses his name and he rap with it too. So
Did you guys realize when you wrong side of the tracks, did you realize the impact when you wrote that song or released that song? Did you know the impact that it was going to have for the culture?
Blame Lord Jamar for that, because we was at his house when we met him in Sadat, and we got to really go start to record with them. He sat us down and asked us, like, what are y'all, who are y'all? Like, what are y'all about? And we told him we do graffiti, we B-boys, at the time it's 1990, 91. Mm-hmm. And where, some of that stuff was, not say phasing out, but, it wasn't as big.
Right.
And we told him all of that. He said, well, rap about that. So we just sat down and wrote this shit right there. Wrote wrong side of the tracks. And
it's just one of those songs.
Yeah, but we wrote it in because of who we were. So doing that, we realized how many people was like us when we put the record out.
Right.
Like, that wasn't the typical first record single to put out. It wasn't about a girl. It wasn't an anthem like street anthem. It was just about graffiti.
Who produced that?
T-Ray.
Is he from New York or?
No, T-Ray is more famous for working with the metal group Helmet.
Okay.
He worked with Cypress Hill. He did Not Gonna Be Able to Do It by Double X Posse. He did Headcracker by Double X Posse.
Cause that beat to me has like the classic New York sound, like verbal intercourse, or
he's from down south.
Home, you know what I mean? And it
T-Ray,
has that.
T-Ray is from I think want to say South Carolina,
Gotcha.
but it might be North Carolina. But when we got with him, he was already working with Double X, and then we got to actually sit with him. It wasn't like we hired him to do beats. We was at his house, co-production for certain things and what we did. But I would T-Ray was the main focus of the record. We had Buck Wow on the record, did like 2 or 3 joints. Redman did a joint, produced on there with Rockwilder, and man, it was something that we didn't think, especially with that song, that people was gonna jump to,
gravitate,
even still to this day.
Oh, it's
I've heard the song like a million times, but I actually seen the video for the first time today, and that shit was not like earlier in the week, but that video was way ahead of its time.
Wow.
Like, that shit is dope. Like, I was like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, this is back in the day, and this should go hard.
This is one of those things in the time and era. It'll forever go down in history. It was one of those songs that
it's just timeless, man. It's like a hip hop classic. Now let's talk about like your big break, man, on the Stretch and Bobbito show, man. It really went down.
Yeah, that's how we got the deal.
So let me get it. So Tame One called up the show, start freestyling, and then they invite y'all up to the radio station the next night, and then y'all just kill it.
Yeah, he called up the radio show, and he won the contest, and that's what got us up to the station. We went up there for like 15 minutes. They let us rock out, and we stayed the rest of the night. But just that 15 minutes of lyrical fury, I guess,
Right.
is what got us the deal at Atlantic. But Bobbito used to work at Def Jam. Stretch used to work at Atlantic at the time, and man, Reef Rob Tulo was working there too as the A&R. So that we had like almost an audition kind of sort of for them, not knowing what we was gonna do. You know, just from Tame calling up there and doing that freestyle, which got us in the door.
Did y'all do any kind of like rehearsal or anything at all? Or y'all just showed up?
No, we just showed up. I mean, ain't really nothing to rehearse when you got thousands and thousands of rhymes in your head that you had before you get an opportunity like this. You know, it's really now, and we didn't even think now or never. We just went up there to really just go because of the invitation, but we knew who they were, so we was actually honored to go up there because not a lot of people, you know, at the time was going up there.
And real quick, explain to the people what it really meant to be on their show and drop a freestyle. Like you said, it literally, y'all got signed like the next day almost, pretty much.
Well, it was, you know, pretty much like everybody in New York calling up, like, who the hell was that? So Stretch and Bob was only on maybe for a couple of years prior to this happening. And we heard about them through just scrolling down the radio dial and late night, because you just looking, and we found it, listening to them and, you know, hearing through the grapevine. So it was dope to actually, you know, have them be responsible for us to actually, you know, get an opportunity to get the deal, because without knowing the inside parts of who they really were, it was just off the strength of what me and Tame did that impressed them enough to bring us up to their crib, their houses and stuff, to just have us up there to even chill with them, let alone give us a deal.
I know. I mean, that must have definitely been an experience. Were you guys were super psyched once you guys were done spitting and you guys just chilling?
I mean, like I said, going up there, it was like after we spit, you know, after we did that, it was like, okay, y'all don't have to leave. We stayed the rest of the night. So,
they didn't kick you out.
Nah. It was really not after that. They definitely didn't want us to leave. But, you know, after that, we exchanged numbers with them. And we kept going up there until they invited us to their crib, and, you know, met a lot of different people, important people at the time. So for me and Tame, you know, the reason why we were up there was they liked him and told him to come up there. But, like, I got a partner, I want to bring him too. So once we got there, it was pretty much, okay, go. At the time, it wasn't like what you talk about it as. Like the movie, when you watch the movie, it wasn't like millions of people. You know, Hyro was up there before. It was a lot of people. Buster, you know, early Buster, like skinny bones, Stretch Armstrong. You know, so at the time we came there, after we was up, it was a lot of way more people after we came there. So it wasn't the like going up there like, oh, you know. We just went up there like, all right, we're going up here to do what the fuck we got to do. Yeah, pretty much. So was once we was done, like, oh shit, okay. And when y'all from where? So that was pretty much the most of it. Like, you know, their show blew up more and more and more after we did that. But even when you look at a lot of the instrumentals that they played in that movie, it was a lot of artifact instrumentals. So that just show you what impact that made on them as well as us.
Right. Now, they were definitely digging your stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, because, like, what I was hearing is, like, when people would try to do anything to get in there, there'd be times where they wouldn't let people, I think they would let Pun in, you know what I mean? Wu-Tang tried to go in 50 deep, you know what I mean? But it was definitely the spot that people knew once you kind of made it to there, things could definitely change.
Right.
And then from there, you guys got signed, right? Mm-hmm. And who did you guys get signed to?
Big Beat Atlantic.
And what was that? How did that go down? Did they sign you like a couple album deal, or?
I mean, we put out 2 with them, and that was it.
Right. I know you went on tour too with that first track, right?
Me and Tame?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we, you know, I would say
so.
With
some heavyweights,
popular,
right?
I mean, like, we went to Europe early, went to Japan in like '94, so we did a lot of touring, even still to this day. Always Europe. Every year until this COVID, but back then, yeah, we was one of the first groups to go out there A lot of people don't get to go to Japan, especially doing hip hop.
Right.
So it's always a privilege.
Do you feel like you guys are bigger overseas than you were here?
I would say the scene is.
It's like they're more intrigued.
open.
Like they're more intrigued over there. Nah.
I would say. See, I'm gonna say this to everybody. A lot of interviews I do, a lot of people say that the Europeans appreciate hip hop and more than we do. They love that shit. I'm gonna say it like this. When we go there, they not from here. They don't just happen to probably see you walking down the street in New York, Manhattan, wherever you might be from. So a lot of the times when we do these shows, they know we coming. So they show up. And I think from the American view, because you have to think in a worldly way, Americans think that because they might not speak English, they might not understand what we're saying or vibe out to the music in the same way. When we went to Japan, we knew they didn't understand every fucking thing we were saying. But they was in that building.
They was feeling it.
They was in that building. To this day, I do shows, and you could be on stage and they know the words. You be in France, speak French, and then as soon as you get on the floor, you're looking at them say all the words to your song, and they'll come up to you afterwards and speaking straight French. They interpret the dude right here, and you be like, "Damn, that's crazy! You know all the words to the song, though."
Right.
So that's the freaky shit about being in Europe, where it's like, how should I say this?
It fucks with you.
No. I'm gonna say this. They question us here while we fuck with the bullshit on the radio. They question all of that shit. I don't give a fuck where I be at.
Right.
Europe, Japan, they be like, what the fuck happened to America?
Like the radio. Like
everything. Fuck the radio. Everything. Fashion, everything. Gear-wise, everything. So they are so much more inclined. After the internet came, perfect example, look at basketball. Look at the European players. Look at Jokic, all them dudes.
Luka.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy with the handle. But guess how they learned that? How you fuck you think they learned that? Tell me.
Just starting off like from the
beginning. Tell me really what they
Americas.
learned. Nah, keep going. And one, nigga. And one fucking tapes. All these tapes learning how to fucking dribble the ball, shoot the ball correct. They never had that. So you got Americans going to Europe. No different than when you go to Japan. They look at how they dance. Rap dudes from America go to Europe and in Japan and teach them all these moves. Because this is where it starts from. But they love it. They love it. They fucking capitalize on it. They have schools for hip hop in Europe.
That's wild.
Well, we don't have that shit at all here. Hey, you gotta be special privilege in the college, be a professor, teacher, to be just teaching hip hop, damn near. So when they have schools dedicated for it, b-boying, breaking, MCing, Scratch Academy, all this stuff, that's the real part of what we take for granted in this music, even more today, that they fucking love.
Yeah, they love the fuck out of it.
Yeah, so anytime you hear anybody talk about Europe and hip hop, they are like, yo, we got this shit. We ain't never letting this shit go. Like, any party you go to in Europe, even right now, every fucking show we do, they are playing shit you like.
Right.
Or that shit you playing in the car. Dilla shit, Gangstar shit.
Right.
Every club we go to, they playing the same artist but different songs, but same shit, vibe-wise. Here, in America, you got to search for a fucking party like that. And y'all always be asking, well, how they be getting all the festivals? Why y'all be? Because we got to go. Because y'all not fucking with it here.
Because they're willing to put out the bread.
Y'all ain't even just the bread. Y'all not fucking with it here. So no different than jazz artists back in the day. We got to go over there just to be getting the whole vibe of the whole, they taking in the nostalgia. You take a little step back in time a little bit, but they fuck with the current in what you're doing too. That's why I still make records.
Not just
I'm
the
gonna shut
old
up. I'm
shit.
rambling.
Nah, go for it. Not just
Nah,
the old
come on.
stuff. That's tight. That's tight. Hey, you got Rick73 over here. What's going on, Ricks?
What's up, bro?
Tell me a little bit about who you are, man, about this album that you got.
Yeah, just you know, we do got a little song right now called "The Alley."
Mm-hmm.
Then my man jumped on. little backstory to that is I had my album last year is called "The Yard."
Right.
And, you know, Elvis Sensei and Sadat X have a project together too that I was peeping last year, and I had a track, you know, that I wanted them to spit on, and sent it over to Sadat, and he ended up, you know, doing the track by himself. It's called Aerosol Anthem. But my man, I knew I wanted to get Elvis Sensei on the track at some point in time. It just, that didn't work out at that time.
Right.
The Yard released, but I had another track that I revisited that I knew I wanted to reach out and see if we can make something work.
Right.
And, you know, I kind of tuned up the track a little bit and sent it over, and man, he just blessed it, bro. Bars. And as soon as I got it back, it didn't take me but a few days to get it arranged and mastered and ready to go.
Right.
And you know, and then just chopped it up a little bit, and you know, coming into town, we figured you know, he's performing at Bar Red tonight, and we knocked out the video this morning. And you know, for me, it's just an honor, right? You know, we've been doing hip hop our whole life, a lot of us, and to be able to have universes line up at some point in time, to be able to, you know, work with, you know, some of your idols, is definitely a blessing. So excited to release the video in the next week or two. The song's out on all platforms right now. It's called The Alley.
Run out and get it. Everybody, right now. The sound, the ding. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Not
So
just
you pick that up.
not just stream it, but download it and actually
Word
buy
up.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's out there.
Yeah, you know what I
now
mean?
we'll get the visuals out there too. And we had a good day. Good shout out to Birdman came out, and Emit came out, and we had a good day, bro.
Yeah.
So
Dope colors and
blessed.
visuals going. And we in the alley for real.
Hell yeah.
In the alley, yeah.
And while we're at shout outs, man, I want to give a shout out to Brian Williams too.
No doubt, my man B.
He kind of hooked me up with you too, kind of give me the inside track, and I appreciate both of y'all, man,
My
for
brother
coming.
masters the ceremonies, yes.
Yeah.
Salute.
Hopefully we'll be able to see him out here in August. You know
No
what I
doubt,
mean?
yes.
Hey, talk about, like, it seems like once y'all did the show, like, shit kind of just started going double time for you. Y'all get signed, y'all start making music, y'all start getting pulled into the mix. How did it really, like, kind of almost change, you know, within a couple months for you guys?
Not really. I mean, we pretty much.
You guys are always tapped
we had
in?
to work. We had to work. You know, we was at the label doing, like, after we got signed and did all the contract shit and all that stuff like that. We had to go in and, you know, sit down and do radio drops from like 12 in the afternoon to like 3, 4, and 5 in the morning.
Damn.
This is like every city, every state. You know, we just looking at the paper. Yo, this else is every station, just all, you know what I'm saying? Like, we did all the preliminary stuff. We did a whole bunch of meet and greets, a whole bunch of record stores, a whole bunch of, like, conference meetings with labels, with the label.
Do you remember some of the first shows you got after that?
Yeah, we did Lyricist Lounge, but we used to do a lot of stuff in New York. Place called Wetlands, New Eurekan Cafe, Bowery Ballroom, spot called Demerara's. You know, New York seems to be on fire. A lot of different places you can go to. SOBs, you know, all the Rocksteady events. When we first started, we did that. Actually, when we did that, Rap City was taping our show for that episode. And that shit was probably the best thing in a while when we did it. But that was fun. But a lot of shows we used to do was in New York until we got out of town. So we was able to travel all over, you know, California. We did that first as far as a promo run. I mean, I do home. We from home. So we did that.
When you guys were on the road, would Tame go do some graffiti at night?
Nah,
He's just sick to the...
Nah. Only time we did anything like that was we had to do interviews for the 80 magazine. We had to do a piece under this underpass. And then we did something for Con Art at the Con Art building for Rap Pages. We did a piece for that. Yeah, but you know, a lot of times on the road we try to like not be in from these places. We go in the room and do what we supposed to do.
It's kind of chill, kind of just lay low.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of hard though? Well, you guys are young. I mean, you guys are popping.
Not when you after doing the show at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't think it's time for going out to go paying. And you're done from there.
Yeah, true that.
And you got to go on the next show and the show after that, and you can't risk being at a place you're not from and paying.
Nah, I definitely get it. You got to think first. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Business first. Everything else.
That's
second.
definitely not business. So that's
Nah. Now that I think about it. Hey, who were like some of your personal influences as far as rap music and kind of what molded you?
Chuck D, Rakim. My top 5 always gonna stay the same. I don't know why everybody list be changing.
How can it change? Like,
Because people go through the years and be like, but I like this. No, it's Chuck D, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Coogee Rap, and Rakim. Did I say Rakim already?
yeah.
No.
Well, no. What do you think of the newer rap? What do you think of the new stuff?
I don't.
Not at all.
Not really. Not that was on the radio at least, but I listen to Skyzoo. I listen to Elzai. I listen to a lot of the artists that's still my age put out records. I listen to them. I listen to a lot of different music, you know, but I don't know if you know somebody I don't know, but as far as my caliber of MCs that I like,
Right.
it's still Pharoah Monch. When he put music out, it's still
Nah, he's on the top for sure.
MOP, it's still Billy, it's still Fan, it's still Locks, it's still, you know, people like that. Royce, when he do put out music. It's not a lot of people that of what we are used to still spitting, but I like Kendrick Lamar, new stuff. You know, my man really calls for attention when he comes out, and these people be on notice. So I at least appreciate that part of him where he's doing, you know, his own music, but still catering to people like me too.
Right. Nah, that's dope. That's dope. What kind of new music you got coming out, man?
A whole damn lot. So
Let's
first
talk
thing
about
first.
it.
First thing first. Artifacts. I'm sorry. Artifacts' new album. It is called motherfucking No Expiration Date. All beats done by Buckwild DITC. It was supposed to come out last year due to COVID and closure of factories. You know, we had to start a new one with another factory, so that took time. But I can assure you, this record will be out this year. I'm seeing a lot of the product being made, and color vinyl takes a while, and special covers of CDs with stuff I can't say. But it's gonna be dope. Y'all gonna be happy. Then I got a project. I got a few projects solo by myself. Me and a producer named Tony Galvin, my brother, he passed away last year. We have an album coming out,
R.I.P.
and on these songs, I have Money Love on the song.
That's dope.
I got Star Rock the MC on the song. I got Shabam Sadiq on the joint. My man Scam, who does the artwork, and he also rhymes as well.
Wow.
He's on the song. You know, my man Dynash from Miami, he's on actually 2 songs. And, you know, this is a big record for me. You know, it's not just because my man passed, but the music that he gave me as a palette to work with was, like my friend said, was like, these songs sound big. And his sound was that. So that's going to come out. Me and my boy Mint Plus, we got an album that's about to come out. Me and my boy Big Joker from home, we're going to put one out. All these records are either mixed or mastered or about to be mixed and mastered. So there's a lot of heat going to be coming this year, next year, and year after that, but I'm going to do it accordingly because what you do have to do is promote these records and not just let them pass by.
No, for sure. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, like the game has definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back in the day, you guys were probably on the block slinging, you know what I mean, tapes.
Nah.
No? Never?
Nah.
Never?
I say I only do that at the merch table. I know people who have done that.
Right.
that maybe still do that. But fortunately,
I'm thinking maybe that's kind of more of like not like necessarily like an East Coast thing because they were getting signed.
It's an East Coast thing.
Where like
it's an East Coast thing. You just I can name a few people that used to stand in front of Fat Beats in New York and California. So, it's a thing for people who want to put the word out what they may have that where they don't have the means to put out a record or somebody may not sign them. But today, back then, like I said, and coming up the way we did, just like Redman, just like Lords of the Underground, we came up in the hood just being known for doing shows and spitting. And that's where Stretch and Bobbito came. Where you talk about, we used to make demos to play with people to show what we can do. It was never a song made or a tape made to sell. So when we got on the radio, that was it.
Right.
We went from that radio station to records. So unless we was trying to get pirated in trouble for going through Atlantic Records and selling records on the street and they getting, breaching the contract, we never had to do that.
No, I get it. Definitely get what you're saying. That's dope, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, when are you gonna start dropping this new music that you have?
Hopefully I don't have a street date for really none of this stuff yet, but I would say the Artifacts record will probably come faster than everything else, depending on how I get this artwork done with these other records. And then if that's so, then they will all come. One of them going to come before the end of the year. I would say the Artifacts record.
Right. And how did COVID affect everything? Did you get like a lot of stuff done during COVID, or did you record a lot of music? Is that when you and Tame got together and kind of put that album together, just kind of like a little older?
Well, we did that like kind of before COVID.
Gotcha. COVID just fucked shit up, kind of.
Nah, it's just really COVID fucked up the production part of it. I recorded in my house, so I recorded the whole album there. Tame came to the crib, we recorded him there. Buck Wild didn't live too far from me, but once we finished the record and it was time to mix, we just went to my man Jake Palumbo's studio, sat in there for a couple of days, mixed the record. Jake mastered the record as well in a couple of sessions, maybe two. It's COVID. I was busy, in a way where I didn't think I was going to be. Where I sell a lot of merch from the crib,
right,
on my Instagram page, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I have a web page too, but people don't use it. They see me on Instagram. So I sell more there than I would any site, and I never do Shopify and stuff like that. I just put the shit up, people DM me, and I send it out. So I chilled on that. Like 2019, we were going into 2020. I just finished the tour. I ordered all these hoodies, hats, everything. And then COVID, bang. So I chilled out because I knew people didn't have money like that. And I seen what was happening. People getting sick. We stay at home. And I'm like, wait a minute. What's this stimulus thing?
Right.
People started getting money.
Right.
So business picked back up again.
No, it did.
So me personally, I went out because I know better. I went and got vaccinated. All of them. Up till now. And I went out and still was able to go do certain, now, the things I may do, other people might not do. And that what makes the difference between some hustles and some to other people. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing these pop-ups because I got too much merch here. I'm selling a little bit of everything, trains, everything. So I just started calling record stores. I set up a pop-up event there. I perform in the store, sell merch, more than, and I would sometimes even rather do that than doing a show because you still get to meet the people and you're in their face and they get to talk to you and it's a little bit more personal and you still get to rock, but the experience of sometimes waiting to do the show and having to wait for everybody to go on where you could not say do more doing the pop-up event, but yeah, you can do a little bit more if you calculate everything right and do the things you got to do, but it's also investing in yourself. So I just figured out a way to get through that once all the restrictions started letting down a little bit, I was like, but I did a lot of features. I stayed in the studio. I think everybody that and do any features with me, it's a testament to hard work when you do that. When people ask you to do that, I look at myself like Deadpool. He's a mercenary. He worked for money and he killed people for money, but he do it in a crazy ass way. You may not agree with how he may do it because he play around so damn much and joke and shit, but he still get the job done. So for me, it's like every time somebody asks me to do a song or a verse, that's me thinking like, okay, either they dig what I'm doing, is a reason why that is happening, but for me, it's like, okay, it's kill shot every time that gets to happen because I appreciate them even asking me to do it. So, and that's the only reason why we're here today. But from those things, better relationships come. I've been to Colombia because I didn't take a certain type of money, where I knew, like, okay, this is this now, but, this could be this later. And it happened. Then it happened, me and Tame to go, and then for Cellar Dweller to be with us. I'm like, see, this is how you treat the universe in the right way, where you don't be so greedy. You'll get what you want in the ladder. So for me, the COVID was the same way. Once people figured out, all right, I'm gonna do it this way, and they started getting unemployment, and people started figuring out things. They was like, yo, I'm ready to go. Yeah. So that's when all the work was coming from everybody. It was like, yo, shit, if I got this now, let me take advantage. So still wasn't no shows. I'm going to Chicago, I'm going to Boston, I'm going to LA, I'm going everywhere.
Flying cheap too.
Yeah, and it was cheap.
I flew to LA a couple times for $50 round trip.
Word up. I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of this right here.
I like on every other week.
So yeah,
bro.
man, that was
for real.
That was smart. So I did the same thing you did.
For real. Once I saw those prices, I booked like 4 flights. Right. I was like, for real? I was like, so I'm booking 4 right now. Fuck it.
Went to Memphis, going back to Memphis. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So when you do features, do you like listen to the song? Do you have them like give you the song, or do you just do a verse and then send it to them? How's that work?
Now, I would say, fortunately, this is big fortune. Like, people know your history.
Bless you.
They know where you come from. So a lot of times when people approach me, it's a person of the same cloth that come from musically where I come from. So, a lot of times you meet people that say, I got something for you, I got something for you. As soon as they send it to you, that should be not for you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, my point.
That should be not for you. So I was like, yo. And I hit them up like, yo, you said you had something for me. And that's when I tell them, like, yo, listen to my music again. And then come back. And then tell me what you think. And then okay, I see. So, fortunately, Rick is one of those people who understands where I come from. So, it was easy
to make that choice.
For him to send what he sent to me, because even though he don't know me, I don't know him. As soon as I heard the music, I he listened to music. So I know, and then getting in the truck, like even not hanging with him, he listened, he's where I'm from.
I was going to tell you that at the beginning of the podcast, all you got to do is hang out with Rick's for a couple hours, and you'll figure out he is the total hip-hop head. Just like me, just like the next one, lives, breathes this shit fucking more than you can think. We're all the same, pretty much the same age, so we grew up. It's not like we're going back and listening or what our parents was. We grew up in that shit, and I remember listening to UTFO for the first time, and even fucking Roxanne and Sparky D and all that shit, and just growing and just evolving, and even at one time, going to the West Coast, because that and coming back, Talking about COVID and shit, though, what do you think about Versus?
It was fun up until after.
Until they try to start charging?
It was good. I was good after Jada kissing them. I was good. I was good after that. Snoop, I loved him and DMX.
DMX, R.I.P.
Once it started going to the show thing, being on stage and everything like that, I was like, I don't know. Because everybody was waiting for the deluxe one.
Right.
We were waiting for that.
That was epic. That was
anything now. One. Now it's pay-per-view and Triller.
I didn't understand the last one. I didn't understand
nobody
Onyx
did. Nobody knows
and
where
fucking
to watch
Cypress Hill. That didn't make any fucking kind of sense to me.
The Kane and Karis one was.
I didn't. That threw me for a loop. My man, and this female asked me like, "Yo, did you like that shit?" I was like, "Nah, I wasn't cool with that." She was surprised.
You know which one was crazy, man? And it's rap. with the Gucci Man Jeezy.
Oh yeah,
That was some next
is
level. I was double taking every time because I was like, did he really just say what I thought he fucking said? And is he really doing what I thought he?
yeah. They was wild.
Gucci was wild, and I give Young Jeezy props because he sat there and took all that. But I definitely watched like the first 15 minutes, and I was like, I think someone might get shot tonight. Because he's talking about
never
his
know what
dead
happened
homies.
outside, but
Yeah.
I'm good on the verses now. Not so much that it changed, but
Right.
just,
It's
I would
just
rather have
modern
them have a
guys.
format like they had, like even if you're in the same studio or room, yeah. But the show thing killed it.
Right. Who would be a good? I know you're done with it. And I'm not saying that you would do, but who would be a good versus for you guys?
And because I know them, and I know how it would look when you talk about Jersey and Brooklyn. But the only thing that made sense for me was Smith and Wesson.
Okay.
And because it's a two-man group, we fuck with them, they fuck with us. And the way that Redman and Method Man did it, I would want us to do it in the same way. Because the one thing I tell people when they watch these things, like, you can't say who's winning. I'm like, y'all do realize we've heard these songs before. The only thing you could think is if a DJ blended a record records at a party good, where they know when to take the crowd here, they know how to take them, bring them down, put them in the middle, play them, they bring them back. So like, that was how Red MF show was,
Right.
and I would think that it would be like that for us with them because I know them. You know, it for people to think that, you know, it's also funny when people think it's a controversial thing, like real battle. I'm like, no. Like when Primo and RZA did, they thought they were gonna play beats you never heard before, like banging shit out, like, and they were gonna be with it.
Right.
And they're like, no, we're playing our hits. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that was the only thing that would make sense for me. You know, I'm sure they would probably agree to.
Right. What I'd like to see is kind of like almost some verses, like not like artists, but if you get like, you can get two individuals, you could be famous or whatever, but drop like you could even narrow it down like your top 15 tracks and kind of like you said, go with the rhythm. Like if you set it off, this is what I'm setting it off with.
Right.
And then you pick it up and then I'm going, you know what I mean? And kind of some shit like that I think would kind of be tight. Almost like a little DJ battle, but kind of without the skills,
basically that's
you know
what it
I mean?
is.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because everyone has those sleepers. I still hear shit to this day that I've never heard of, but I'm like, how the fuck did I never hear that? You know what I mean? I remember one of the classic tracks like that I never heard of for the longest time was 95 South by the Youngbloods and Big
Right.
Boy.
Okay,
And I was
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
how's this shit been out for like 7 years? I ain't ever fucking heard this shit.
That's videos though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even nowadays, bro, like you figure we used to watch videos back in the days, and like there's a stretch where like fucking videos kind of went extinct, and we sit here and you're watching Dom Kennedy, you're watching other shit, and they have videos for everything, and you're just like, I've never seen this video in my life. Like, where the fuck have I been? You know what I
You
mean?
have access to so much more these days.
Yeah.
Internet, stream, I mean everything, man. Back then you didn't have access. You know,
Not at all,
you got on
bro.
a record pool or something, you might get some B-sides or some white labels, but we just didn't have the access. Now it's flooded.
You had to go digging for that shit. You had to find the shit. I remember I'd go down to Charlie's, bro, and they would
Go to
have
my
the white.
phone now.
They would have the white labels all the time, all the promo shit for $1. You just go there and find your little gems and fucking. That's what we're playing tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, talk about your album real quick, because I was even confused about your album. Like I said earlier, I thought you were the featured MC, production, and just having features, but it's just you're just on the productions.
Yeah,
and you've been
strictly just do the tracks and the production and the mixing and, you know, the whole nine. But, you know, back in the day, I used to spit, but them
Right.
old days. I knew that I loved to be behind the boards and the beat machine, so
Right.
I stayed in my
Cello.
lane. I stayed in my lane. Yeah, and I could play the bass too.
or the
but
bass. I knew it was one of them.
But I just stayed in my lane, and I love hip hop. It's my life, and you know, I just music was always a part of my life, and I just stayed in my lane and just made the beats. And you know, I wanted to put out a couple albums, and I figured, you know, I want to get some of my favorite MCs is just come spit on my tracks, and that's just kind of what it is, you know.
Who are some of the other MCs that you've gotten on the album?
On the Yard album, I have Nims out of Coley Island, and I have Pounds, Sadat X. I have Sean Price. I have unreleased Sean Price verse on there. Mason Graves, YK Hamilton. Scheme did my intro.
You know, you need some mad skills on your shit, bro. You need some fucking what's the name from the dude from Gilligan's Island? Thurston Howell III.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean,
I see your shit like kind of like a sound bombing. You know what I mean? Like some tight shit.
Well, again, you know, I mean, I make tracks. I'm not just throwing a dart at the board on MCs who you know.
Nah, you're going after.
I'm going after who I want, and I'm going after who I feel like would sound best over my tracks. And also, there's budgets that come into play too. It's a big thing, you know what I mean? And being a producer, and you know, wanting certain MCs, I mean, the prices unfortunately are high.
Once again, you should have done that shit during COVID, because that was the time to rock.
So I mean, there's a lot of variables there for me making the album, but for the most part, you know, I go after, you know, my favorites.
Is there someone you'd like to work with that you haven't been able to work with that you'd like to get on?
Well, again, it's all budget, right?
Well, no,
I mean,
budget.
would I love to have a track with Redman?
Right. But I'm talking like not like your favorite, no budget, but you know what I mean. Like,
if I had
you,
I mean, my favorite, you know, my top 5. You know, they go online a lot with L's, but you know, Black Thought's one of my favorite too of all time. Like, would I love to Black Thought to come spit some bars on my shit? Yeah. Would I like, you know, Cool G rap? Yeah. Well, you know, but I got a list, you know, but you know, some of them I don't think at this point in time they're obtainable.
right. Yeah, I get that. Like Black Thought, like you said, is probably pretty fucking hard to obtain unless you got a big ass bag. Yeah. And even at that, he might not even.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do it because I love it, and I got another album coming out soon. It's strictly an instrumental album though, that's coming out in September.
So I might have to drop a mixtape to that shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just keep working, man.
I can dig it, man.
Just keep working. But I do want to give a shout out to DJ Ohm. A buddy of mine just passed away yesterday, and he's on the other side. So DJ Ohm, and he helped me out on the Yard album. Yeah. And I just wanted to give a shout out to him and his family down in Albuquerque, and shout out to Gatto too, because without Gatto I wouldn't have met him, and you know, he wouldn't have blessed me with some stuff on my album. So I just wanted to.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, man. Sorry to hear that.
No, much love to him and his Albuquerque family. So.
The Burke homes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. So.
Hey, how things been going for you there, man? Have you been picking up a lot more shows now that things are kind of getting back to normal?
Oh yeah, I'm after we leave. I'll leave here tomorrow and go to LA. I got a pop up on Wednesday.
In LA?
In Fullerton, California, at a program skate shop. I go to Whittier on the 16th. No, I'm sorry, Huntington Beach on the 16th. 17th, I'll be in downtown LA doing a record store pop-up show event on the rooftop there. Hip Hop Philosophy Records.
When are you going to be down there?
Friday.
Oh, okay.
This Friday. Saturday, I'll be in where is this? I think in Whittier. Yes, I'll be in Whittier on Saturday the 18th, and I'll be home for Father's Day. So yeah.
I thought Father's Day tomorrow.
You think?
Is it? Oh.
Definitely not.
You know, bro.
Yeah, got another week.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to go to.
Well, this Sunday no.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be here.
I got you.
I
hey,
get killed.
Well, next time you get here, man, I mean, we wish we'd have known. You could have definitely did a pop up here, bro.
Oh no, no, hey, that's the whole purpose of us talking right now.
Yeah. Our casa, su casa is your casa, bro. We got the little graffiti, little art shop downstairs. You know, I'm about to go get some paint right after this. You know what I'm saying? But shit, man. Any kind of final thoughts or any kind of?
Well, I'll tell y'all right now. Pick up that Artifacts record when it comes out. You won't be disappointed. After 25 years, we finally put something together, and with a goddamn reputable producer like Buck Wild. Buck Wild, DITC Buck Wild. So whoever don't know that, that's where he comes from. Y'all gonna love this record, man. Thank you for having me. You know, shout out to everybody that's trying to get it, man. That's why me and Rick is here.
Right.
Trying to get it. The alley. That's why we here. I think y'all.
Right.
Peace.
Appreciate you.
Peace. Well, we're out of here, man. We appreciate you once again. Like I said, check out their new music. What's your Instagram and all that so they can follow you?
Yep, you hit my Instagram, Sensei from NJ, SENSEI from NJ, from New Jersey.
All right, what's your Instagram there, Ricks?
It's Ricks, RICKS .73.
All right, and you know us. You can find the Smoking Joe Thunder podcast on all platforms. Find us on IG, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
We appreciate you once again, man. We are out of here. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.
Peace.